Hi guys, myself Pranav Subramanian. So this is my new channel on YouTube, which is Pranav Subramanian. I'm in chess with Pranav Subramanian. So welcome to my channel, and in my channel I'll be uploading videos related to chess, and I'll also be streaming live. So this is my first live stream, and I'll be playing a tournament over here. So I'll share the link of the tournament. You can play too. uh, yeah, just a minute, I'll share it. Okay, I've sent it, and my username also I'll send it. Is Pranav5396. You can follow me over there. Okay, so let's start. I'll just join this tournament. I hope the screen is visible because this is my first stream, so I might do some mistakes. Okay, it's a rapid arena. Okay, so there we go. And white, and from white I usually prefer playing the king's gambit. Okay, Scandinavian defense. Well, actually I'm not aware of this version. I've seen many people play that. So Scandinavian is not a great option for me because the queen enters the game quite early, which is really not a good thing. I can play knight f3. Well, I don't understand the meaning of this check. My bishop develops with a tempo. Okay, so took the pawn. I see some weakness on that point, so what if I capture and I can just castle? Well, I'm actually ahead in development, but then I think trading is forced over here because you see my queen is like in a trap position. So bishop b5 check is really not a good move because he plays this. I want to somehow launch an attack over there, so I'll first capture and then I can maybe play bishop f4, develops with a tempo because there's an attack on that pawn. He saved it. Okay, again I'll place my rook in an open file with a tempo. Now he's just playing these kind of moves. Okay, so if this was a queen over here, then this could have been a good move because that's a check and mate. So I can maybe play knight e5, but then he too does get a tempo over here. First I'll short castle. That's the best move, I guess. e6. Let me just open the tournament page. Okay. I think rook e1 is a good option to play here. Any weakness in this area? This is a weak point basically. I mean, it's an undefended pawn, so somehow I want to launch an attack there. First I can prepare for some discovered threat or something, maybe bishop to a6. Okay, he moved it. Well, maybe I can play b4 and kind of launch an attack. First I'll play a4 and then b4 and start an attack. Okay. Well, he has a bishop pair, and I will actually try to trade my knight for a bishop because that will be for means a good advantage for me. Okay. Well, I don't really see any rook trap over here. d3. Well, most probably, okay, it captured the pawn. I think this is not a good move because rook c4 and a skewer type in. If he chooses to defend it like this, maybe let's go with rook c4. Well, that's advantageous for me because I get 2 pieces for a rook, and now this pawn falls. I can defend it by playing some b5 or b6. Even though I'm still a pawn down, well, my pieces are quite active and all these pieces are just inactive. So well, maybe I can play knight t5 and then rook c. Well, I'll go with rook c4 first and then knight e5, because if I play knight e5 first, then he can play f6, so I'll have to remove it. Now for knight t5, if he plays f6, then I can short castle. For defending, yes, he might maybe play rook c8. Well, I can add another attack, and now this is a strong diagonal. Okay, not there, here. I just simply retreat. Pranav 596 is streaming. Okay, so now I get this pawn. The reason I played rook c3 was that because if I take, and if this was not on c3, the rook was undefended, so I lose it. But now it's defended, so there's really not any problem. I'll just take with my bishop. Well, double bishop is going to be really torturing for him. Oh, thankfully my bishop is here, because for rook c8, this bishop could not have moved if this was not in this diagonal, because rook c1 was a checkmate. The advantage with the bishop pair is that when bishop and when this structure, you just see the pawn defends the bishop defends the pawn. It's a really comfortable structure when a rook can do nothing. He might play rook c2 to enter, yes, to enter the second rank and launch an attack. First I'll make an escape square, or what about defending? I can defend this pawn and then play bishop c4. I just have to play h3 as fast as possible to remove the risk of the back rank checkmate. Okay, so well, he threatens this as well as this. Now the only move is to make an escape square, which I'll be doing. Bishop c4. He might play rook b4. What about bishop d3? Well, that really isn't a good move. I'll go with bishop e2, and then if he captures, then I play bishop e3. Then it's difficult for this pawn to promote. I can play bishop d2 and then maybe this first. Well, this is going to be a blunder because rook a1 is open, so well, this is not a good move either, because rook a1 check comes up. So first maybe I can play king h2, then I can go with bishop d1. Maybe I think this can be a draw because two bishops in front of a rook and he has the pawn extra, so maybe it will be a draw. Like this I'll be attacking this rook and then he'll be moving, so I'll just go for a draw over here. Now bishop d2 I can play. Attack. Bishop d2, he cannot attack this bishop again because this light square bishop is taking all the squares. Well, this is I think a blunder because rook d4. I'll defend this or maybe attack bishop f3 and then bishop d1. Well, actually my planning is quite bad in endgames. So the position is really difficult. Bishop d1. Well, I think that it's almost impossible to stop this pawn from promoting to a queen. Actually, I don't have any move left. A2, then I can play bishop b3. Even though he promotes, then I get it. But then this really is not a good position. Oh, well, that's a skewer type thing. I'll play bishop c1 because he captures, I'll capture the pawn. Now I think I'll prefer bringing my king into the game. Okay, so well, if I trade these pawns and maybe capture the fourth pawn as well, then it can be somehow a draw. Well, now I'll play g4, captures, and maybe I can hold the position. Even though trading is not a good option when you are material down, I actually don't have any other option. I'll prefer taking with the f pawn because if I take with the g pawn, he has two pawns left in open files. None of my pawns are there, so I'll take with my f pawn. But only his e pawn is left without a pawn on my file. Okay, so he's attacking my bishop. I can play bishop c5 and then bishop e3, some kind of discover attack on h6. Well, actually I don't have a lot of time left, so I'll have to play fast. Well, king g3 is the only option left. And this position is, I think, even more drawish because so logged. I somehow want to attack the pawn base, the pawn chain base, so that one after the other I can grab all of them. Well, I can do a counter attack type. He captures, then I capture. Oh, well, king g1 is the only move. For rook h3, I can play king g2. Now, maybe, well, obviously it's not possible for the rook to be trapped Yes, plenty of pawns there. And to attack this pawn, it's really very difficult. And I have to enter this way. Well, not like that, like this. Captures, and then like this. Some way I can enter maybe, because this rook obviously is not going to stay there forever. Well, actually, I think this is going to be a lose for me, a clear lose. Is 4 points plus. I have a bishop for a rook, or maybe I can also draw the game. Well, maybe I should play king h3, but this goes on. I'll go with king f1 because this king also now can't enter because wonderful pawn. Taking is a bad option. Not taking is a bad option either. I hope I had like square bishop to do some skewer. I'll just resign. I'm going to lose. I'll go back to the tournament. Okay, so for white, this time I'll play the Queen's Gambit. Well, it's okay. What's the? I think this is the Dutch something. Dutch opening. Knight. I can play. Well, I think this is not a good move because like this, I get my bishop trapped someday, but then I'll just capture them. He gets double pawns on this one. If he plays h6, then I'll capture. He'll have to capture with this, what do you say, queen. Okay, so queen c2, then I'll capture the pawn. Queen c2, then bishop d3, and then long castle. Usually in Queen's Gambit we long castle. Yes. Now I can launch an attack like that. Well, I capture the bishop because there was an attack. 3 attackers, defenders were none. Well, this is a blunder because he takes any of his pawn and it's a fork. So, well, if he wants to capture, let him. Well, I don't want. I played g1. This is again not a good move because he takes an attack on knight. This becomes undefended by playing. So I play knight e5, threatening to capture the bishop. Even though it's not a threat, like I get a bishop for a knight. Okay, let's just kick the knight from here. Well, the position is becoming complex. Okay, so it's forced to capture with the pawn, or else I become material down. I can play, well, king d2 if I require, and try going like that. King d2 I can play now itself because the rook was in the line of the king. Let's try trading the queens. Well, then the attack will be gone, and there are chances for me to win. Well, this is not a good move because he'll capture with his f pawn, takes, and then this is skewer, and I lose my queen. So I think I'll have to play h3 and then g4. Capture, and then this pawn falls. Well, this rook is, quite irritating, so I'll go with rook f1 first. After this, Well, after g4, if he captures, then I capture. Now this time, since this rook is there, it's going to give me a good defense. Oh, this is a problem here. First, I'll play queen b3. If he captures, I simply play king c2, and then I can try to attack this pawn somehow. Maybe like queen b6, attacks this pawn as well. I think first I'll capture on f5. Gives me an open file in front of the king. King c1. And then this queen goes to g2 and a lot of attack. Well, if he plays c2, let him play. Well, there isn't any big problem here. I can play rook f2 immediately to capture this pawn. Even if he defends with his queen or something, still I can capture. I have 3 attackers and he has 2 defenders. Well, first I'll play a lot of defense on this pawn. Let's open the center. I capture. Well, I think this pawn falls now. This is not a good move because queen d2 is, almost a checkmate like this. So, well, I can play g1. Attack on this. Even though the queen is there, this queen can't move anywhere. I think now I'm going to get checkmated, maybe in a few moves. King c2. This rook is still defending this pawn. Well, I don't want that rook to be there. Well, he threatens this check and I lose my queen. So well, the position is getting badder and badder over here. For queen g3, well, I'll just try to trade the queens. This check, d1, and then, well, he has no more. This is a check and mate, so this is a bad move. Okay, I think rook b1 should be fine. Yes, because this rook b2 check is a big problem over here. So rook b1 should just kind of defends my king properly. And well, I'll just try to trade my queens because my king is really very near these pawns, so I'll capture them and I'll enter endgame. Let's offer him a queen exchange. Even though I'm 2 pawns down over here, if he trades, I think it's going to be a blunder. Okay, well, he threatens a check and mate. How do I save it? Well, now it's not possible to save it, I guess. Anyhow, I want my queen to defend this square, and it isn't possible currently. I I cannot give any checks either. And this king can't escape too. So, well, I'll have to sacrifice my queen by playing such move, but then still I'm going to lose for sure. Taking this pawn is not of any use because again this is a checkmate. Somehow I'll have to defend like this or like that. I just resign. It's not possible to save it. Well, actually I've lost 2 matches. Okay, so waiting to get paired. Well, I'll just post my profile link in the description. Well, okay. D4. For in front of D4, I'll play knight F6. Well, it is a king's Indian defense. In front of D4, D5 is actually, very. Even though it's not a bad move, not good either. There is a game played between Hikaru Nakamura and someone else. I actually don't remember the name. And Hikaru Nakamura simply crushed his opponent. He played the Queen's Gambit, whereas opponent played Slav defense. So, if you want me to show that game, do a post in the comments. I will make a video on that too. Well, actually, I don't know the variations so well, but I think black castles here, and somewhere he plays d6 or I think e6 to avoid these kind of moves by white. White usually plays e4 over here, I guess. Well, if he plays c4, then he does get a good, strong center. But then he played some queen's opening. This move he played now. I think I must have taken with the pawn. Gives me a good defense. I think d6 is the move played here. He capture. If he plays a5, then I capture. He capture. Then okay. Well, I can open up the center now. I'll have to play c6 someday, because when the knight comes in the 5th or 4th rank for both the players, it's really difficult to play. Means okay, this is my profile. I'll just copy and I will send it. Okay, knight g5. Well, what's the idea for that? That's simply knight sacrifice. Well, I don't get why he played that. Actually, what I'll play is first trade the queens. Well, what's this rating? 1178. Okay, I'll trade the queens first and then I'll capture this. Well, still I don't see. I think this is under attack, but this can be defended pretty easily. I think by bishop d8, even though this is a bad move, I'll just play c6 immediately. For this, if he captures, I capture, he captures, and then I can play rook b8. I think this is a better move instead of playing bishop d8. It's a good, means properly developed piece. Why do you want to bring it back? Well, I can play c6 now, or I think bishop e6, because this is an undefended piece and it's been so. By this move, I win his knight. Well, I think he can play. Well, obviously now he can't defend his bishop. No. Okay. Let's see what he plays. Okay, so c6, for c6 maybe, well no, he can't play knight c7. I play knight takes c7. If he plays knight e3, then I can play bishop takes c3. Well, this is known as removing the defender. When one piece is defending a piece and your piece is attacking it, so you just remove the defender which was defending this piece and you win that. And just capture. He captures, then bishop f5. I attack this pawn. Then I can play any of my rook to. I'll play it right away because I don't want any pawn to become a passed pawn. It's going to be very difficult for me to handle. So rook f d1, d8. Sorry. Well, I can capture two attackers, one defender. Rook d8. Well, this is a defended piece, so this is not going to create any weakness or problems in my area. I can capture the pawn. I could have captured this pawn as well. Well, there's an attack on the rook. Well, I'm a lot of material plus, so I just give my rook for a bishop, which is totally fine. And I can maybe try to do some checkmate using my two bishops and a knight. First, I'll trap the king this way. Well, if he doesn't move it away, then I can. He resigned. Okay, let's go to the next match. Well, I'm in point 38. I lost 2 matches, which is not really a good thing. Okay, waiting to get paired. Okay, there we go. From black, okay, what is this? Knight f3, d5. I'll play kind of some King's Indian type from, I think, white. F3, a Slav defense type, but from white, something like that. Well, I just play those moves which is played from white for Queen's Gambit. Very well. Bishop g4. This is not a very good move because this is a center pawn which is getting deflected. Now I can play e5, which is going in the side, and none of his pawns are in the center, so this game should be I think good for me. I capture. if he captures, then I can capture with my pawn. Pinning both my knights. Well, queen b6 is a good option. If he captures, I capture. Well, I think with the queen I should, because if I capture with the pawn, he captures and I'll have to capture with my pawn again, and you see both of my sides are destroyed. Now I can castle long and launch an attack somewhere like this. Okay, so I'll capture with my pawn this time, because sometimes this gives an advantage. I think he too will castle long. First I'll play rook h1, capture, and that's the queen pin. Well, he can play this too, but then f5 I play and I win the knight. What's this rating? Let's see, 1651. Well, this rating I have for blitz. I think first I'll play bishop b4, capture, and then e4. Yes, because now if I play this captures, then well, I think I'll just capture e4, and then now if he captures, then the queen gets pinned. There you go, I get the queen. Okay, so let's see what he plays. I captured my queen and I grab this pawn. I want to somehow pin this rook too. First I'll grab a few pawns. Well, this is a passed pawn. You can say an outside passer pawn, because this is far from all the pawns. This is an undefended piece. Well, I think I'll attack this rook, d3, and then queen h3 attacks this rook as well. This should be an easy win. This is an undefended piece again. Now if he goes there, then I'll push my pawn, and this time I can't give my queen for a rook, because then the material almost becomes equal. Let's start pushing the pawn. You can play rook e8, but then that's just trading when you are material down, and not a very good option. Well, I don't get the motive of that move. Well, instead of taking this, I can play queen f2 check. Can't be blocked by any of the pieces, because the pawn takes with a check. So king's forced to go somewhere over there, and then queen c2 is a checkmate. The only move for him is to give up his rook. Oh, okay, I didn't see this move, but maybe he gets checkmated even with this. Queen c2 check, king goes here, queen takes pawn check. Well, his king is out in the open. Well, this is a checkmate. Let's go to the next match. Okay, so what's e4. Okay, French defense. Well, I know, so What's this? Well, I'm seeing this first time. Usually d5 is played and not c5. c5 is played afterwards. For the advanced variation, when we play e5, then I'll go with c3. Well, anyway, c3 is played one day or the other in French different form. Okay, so this transpose to the advanced variation. Okay, well, bishop d2. He captures and I capture my knight. Well, capturing is not okay. I'll just trade because this check attacks this, but then queen d2 defends this pawn. Take good knight. Now I can long castle. First, well, this was under attack, so I had to defend it. Let's see any weaknesses in this area. Well, this is an undefended pawn, but then there isn't really any method, way to attack a long castle. King b1 and then maybe rook g1, something like that. Well, actually, I love castling long because it gives you an easy attack on your opponent's king. I think bishop b1 is forced to defend this pawn, and maybe like to defend his bishop as well. Okay. Bishop b1. This is not such a bad move either. Well, first I'll remove this knight from here. If he plays bishop a4, then I can capture his knight, no problem. Okay, I think knight g5 can be played here too. Attacks on h7, I have to attack. This move is really a blunder because even though it attacks the rook moves somewhere and then he can play g6 or maybe f5. But for f5 I can play in passant he takes f6, so he most probably play g6, cuts the defense. But then maybe I can play knight f6, it escapes. Let me just check because I don't want my knight to get trapped. For this, now it's like in a trapped state only. Okay, I don't want to take risk. I'll just retreat my knight. Okay. Well, it's the end game starting, so I can push my pawns. Really, I don't think any attack can come. Well, for bishop a4, this time I'll save my rook because if I take, he takes, and if I take, I have double pawns, and that also on a file, a rook pawn which cannot be promoted to well, okay. Let's just trade and trade. These pieces are still, okay. Let's start an attack, even though it's not going to be so successful because just 2 rooks and 2 knights are there. So okay, well, I can capture, it's a side pawn which was in center. Now really I think, well, I can now attacking is little easy, but first I'll play knight b3 because he was attacking this pawn. Now 3 defenders, 2 attackers. Okay, first I'll play d7 and then I can attack like this. First, I think I'll have to eliminate this knight. Okay, he removed it because it was defending that, so I can make some battery of my rooks. Let's go with that. Well, there's an attack on it, so Rook g3 should be fine. If my knight somehow manages to come on d6, it's going to be great. So to go, well, it's a long way. It will take a lot of time. To go there. This way could have been easy, but then the pawn's there over here. I think I can play, well, no, knight h4 is not a good move because this pawn falls. I'll play knight d2, but connected knights are really an advantage because this defends that defends this, so any piece other than the pawn can't do anything bad. Okay, again this is under attack. I can play rook g4. Rook g6 would have been a bad option because he just takes with this knight. Okay, not this, because when he takes with this, there is a lot of attack on my knight, and this pawn becomes defended as well. I think it's time to play knight h4. He captures, I capture, he captures this pawn. Well, thankfully it's not a check. Well, there isn't really any attack which I can launch. So, okay, I think no, rook h4 is not a bad move. This knight g5 check would have been great when this pawn is pinned. So I somehow want to place my rook on this, I mean any of these squares. Rook h3 I will prefer to place, because for this he can play maybe g6. So placing here is a pretty difficult task with this knight here. First I'll play king d1, trying to defend this. Okay, well, just a minute. Well, I don't have a charge in my speaker. Okay. Well, for this, I don't want a square. I want a square where this knight can't give any check and all. Okay, so this is defended. Now I can trade. Check. Oh, there you go. I think I lose this match now because I lose my rook. I'll just resign. Let's just do an analysis of this game. Well, I think I'm white, yes. Oh, for this, if we capture, I think I have a good pawn chain and my bishop can be developed on b2. So let's say this. Well, not that. Queen a5 is a mistake. Oh, again a mistake. For knight c3. Okay, I should have developed a piece. Okay, I took. Well, this is an inaccuracy. I don't know why. A3 is a blunder. Why is it so? Oh, this check. Oh, this I didn't see because, well, it's lost. Well, he can play this check too, right? He gets bishop. Yeah, this is more good because this check and rook also. Okay, this I must have seen. Okay, it's a blunder. Why? Oh, this threat again. I think now discover check. Okay, so my match is started. Oh, actually, I forgot to move. Okay, so I'll go back to the tournament. I'll join, and this time I'll play. Okay, there we go. We have the match started. Okay, first I'll see 16:52. Maybe I can go sec. Let's start. So since I'm doing a go sec, I'll be speaking less. D5 to trade, exchange knight for a bishop, and I can play c3. I get a pretty strong center. Okay, let's capture, and then d4 I can play. But I think capture, then there's an attack on this pawn. So first, I'll attack this queen. For this, I can maybe play this check. I think queen c2, and then rook a1. Well, I see something interesting over here. Okay, so this is a queen trap. Wonderful. That's why first I played b3 to defend the square, and then I just sacrificed my. I captured it. Well, I can give a check, and then I can capture this queen. Okay, this pawn I'll have to capture one day or the other. Well, the king is out in the air. Some checks and maybe checkmate can happen. Well, I don't have much time to think, so I'll play pretty fast. I think this is a rook trap. This is taken by the bishop. Okay, he can. This is the only square to go. Let's try to launch some sort of attack. Oh, okay, that pawn was going hide and seek. I'll have to be careful not to place my queen and king in the same line. Even though chances of a pin are less. I should still be careful. This bishop pair is so torturing. Well, I'm just 1 point plus. Oh, I'll have to give my rook. He didn't take. Wow. Well, I think for this he can play this. So let's just capture it anyway. He plays this, then I actually attack this bishop. For this, let's play this. I think I can try to do some checkmate. Well, the position of my king is not that great. This bishop, if it wasn't there, then it would have been great to play this check or this and win this knight. I'll have to play fast. I think, well, thankfully this is not a pin. I'll better go out. Oh, well, this is not a great option. This way I'll bring my king to a corner, I mean to safety. And maybe it can escape this way too. Well, there isn't really, I think, any check now. Okay. Yeah, but then my king it's just doing king walk. It's traveling a lot. We only move, and then this check. Okay, so attack on this as well. This should have been a checkmate. Let's play this check. I can draw the game by giving him repeat. Oh, okay, that's a discovered check. Fine, but he doesn't have any check left, I think. Oh, this is an undefended piece, and I wish my queen could have gone over here. Bishop, and these just 2 points plus I have these two connected passer pawns. He has connected one over here, but then I think one pawn and a queen are enough to manage. This king is really very safe, and I don't want that to happen. Attack on this. This is like kind of a pin because this is an undefended piece. This is undefended, this is undefended. Maybe I can do some fork. Wow. Okay, let's attack the rook. Now I will start pushing my pawns. I think I can give my queen for a rook. because now I promote another queen. How does he stop that? I'll just have to make sure that my king and pawn aren't in such a position that my opponent gives me a fork. Okay, that check can be played, but then if he captures this, I have this pawn promoting. There we go, I win. Now I bring my king towards this king, and this is known as shouldering, I guess, because that shoulders the king and pushes away. Oh, thankfully this was not a stalemate. Okay, let's go back. Oh, well, I was in 398th position among 941 people. Okay, so let's finish analyzing this game. Knight g5 was a blunder because yes, I think this move was coming, and then a very deadly threat. Even though if I moved it, then he captures this, and then there's an attack on the king. So and then h6 was a mistake. I retreat, inaccuracy, blunder. Oh, why is it so? Comes here, I capture, he captures. Well, I don't see any blunder over here. c4. Oh, he pins it. Oh, so now, well, my position isn't that great. Two rooks in front of a king. Bishop c2 played by him. Oh, sorry, played by me. Bishop a4 was a blunder. Why is it so? I think, oh, I should have played this. I think this says, and I think I'm better over here. I have two pieces in front of, well, not these two in front of the rook. Okay, so let's see the average anti-pawn loss. Minus 130 is 100. Okay, mistake, blunder. I captured knight. Well, actually my level isn't that high, so obviously a lot of blunders and mistakes are going to be there. My opponent too had, his rating is a lot more than mine. Mistake. Why is it a mistake? Okay, for this, well, I don't understand. Okay, oh, so he captures, capture, but then it's my advantage, right? I think for this it's saying this, maybe. Well, I don't understand the analysis of leeches. Well, for this again, maybe if I capture, I don't see any. Oh, this check. Yes, king goes. Oh, but then this is defended, right? Acha. Well, I understood. King this. He captures. I capture. He captures. If I capture, then rook c, and then my rook falls. So he has a rook in front of knight. Knight c7. It's a blunder. Yes, I think I had less time and some dubious moves I played, and I resigned over here. Oh, it was resigned because of this check only. Okay. Okay, so that's all guys for today, and now I'm ending the stream. Thank you so much for watching it. I'll meet you in the next stream. Thank you so much for watching guys, and do watch do like my videos, share it, and subscribe my channel Chess with Pranav Subramanian. Thank you.